So what I want to do in this case to get this code up, so it's not committed, excellent. Let's go back to Crowbar Dev's backup. So this is going to do my push and get my change there. And then we can confirm it by jumping back over. So what's going on, there's a lot of different bar clamps floating around over a lot of bits and pieces. So I've actually taken the dev backup, make sure that what I have locally is being pushed to all of my local branches. This is different than just a general push because it's going to make sure all my branches are up to date. And it's also a little bit safer than doing them independently because I'm tracking all the different branches and releases and everything going on. So use dev backup. And so depending on where I am, this should actually find, here we go. So now after I did that backup, it has taken this code. We can actually see the code that I did. That was in, where's my commit? Okay, here's my commit. And here's the 4 files I changed. So all that looks exactly like what you want. One of the cool things is that now people can watch each other's code chain. So if you want a review and you've done a backup, then somebody can actually look at the code in your repo, see what it's going to be when it comes out, which is exactly the behavior that we're shooting for. So in this case, what I want to do next is before I do a push, I want to actually do a build. So I would like to do a build. Ubuntu. In this case, I'm just on master, so I'm not going to build with the 1204 stuff. I can just do 10.10, which is our older code. I can also do rel. I'm on trunk, and I can just take this through and let it go. So in this case, it's going to do all the work to figure out where it's supposed to be, what the metadata is, what pieces and parts and all this is coming through. It's going to do a build. In an ideal world, what I would do is I would take that commit, that push, I would run a complete build through the system, test my build, make sure that it looks good. This sudo password is the password for the Crowbar user locally. And one of the things that we have instructions for is making everybody a sudoer, so you don't have to get that prompt. Something that the latest dev tool as of Earth Day 2012 works in that mode. So it's going to go through and build the ISO and do all those pieces and give me a great new build. I'm going to let it finish with this and then move to the step post having the ISO and testing it. All right, so my build is finished. Let's see. I've got my ISO. I pushed mine actually out into my VMs. Makes it easier for me to rebuild it. So that would look like this. Crowbar. So here is my new shiny ISO, and I can then put that through a build process to make sure my bug is fixed in that build. Overall, it just takes a couple minutes, not a big deal. So having done that, what we want to do is push this in to Crowbar build process proper. So let's see, there's Crowbar. So in the background, so what I need to do now is I'm in DevTool, and I'm just going to get the list of actions. So here, what I want to do is I want to build a pull request like that. So it's pluralized because it's not just going to create one pull request. It's actually going to do a pull request for all of the bar clamps that are impacted by the change. There's a significant amount of logic here that will figure out which bar clamps need to be in which pull requests, and it'll consolidate them all together and build them, and most importantly, order them so that all the pull requests are going to be shaped up in the right places and right ways. This is a really important step. If you don't have this analysis in here, you will create a mess. We know from experience, you create a mess. So by using the pull request prep, it's going to actually tell us exactly what needs to be done in order for me to make a successful change. And I'm taking a second to explain this while it churns. what you need to understand is that even if I just change one bar clamp like I did here, which is the Crowbar bar clamp, I still need to come back in and update the pointers in the appropriate branches that I'm using. So a change to the Crowbar bar clamp is actually going to impact the Cloudera bar clamps, the OpenStack bar clamps, the master branch. So a lot of different things get touched, especially when you're working in shared bar clamps. If I'm just working in Nova, it's going to be a small check-in. But when I'm working in core Crowbar, it's going to touch a whole bunch of things. So here's what I need to do. Take this, and I'm going to use the recommendation that DevTool makes for this post. So I'm just using this tool with what it recommended for the branches and the bar clamps. I need a title for this: fix bug in chef export. So that's enough information. Remember, this is going to show up as your push request in the chef export. The node dump command was including too much information. This change makes the export work. Alright. So Control X, going to save this. Yes. Good. And now it's building pull requests. So it's going to literally go through and build a series of pull requests that the keepers of the tree are going to see as emails. I'll bring one up while it formulates this so that you can see what it looks like. So it came through, and then in the background over here, I now should have a pull request pending. Right, so I'm asking for Dell Cloud Edge to pull this one commit in, and this is going to give us a chance to see what's going on with changes. Somebody else on the team can do that review. Every time we change the code now, we do it through a push request, so it's all very controlled. Code reviews are going in place. It's effectively a gated trunk for all the bar clamps of the project as a whole. So I'm really excited to see this process. This is how things should work. It's very controlled, but hopefully you now see that we've taken you through the entire process for this. So, as a quick review, I was working in my builder, my DevTool builder. I made changes using my code editing tool directly into that. I did a commit from here. I did a build based on that, did a backup, did a build based on that commit, checked my build, then did a push request to validate that, that those pieces went in, and then actually made the request. So sounds like a lot of steps, but for a gated check-in process, I feel like we've done a lot of work to make this much more manageable, especially given all the sub-modules that Crowbar needs to be successful. Happy crowbarring.